First, I would like to announce that this recap contains giveaway contest. For more details, go check the description. So let's begin with the recap. Nurse practitioner Mel moves to remote town Virgin River to start a new job. She meets Hope McCree, the mayor, who hired her and who has offered her a very basic lodge. Mel meets Jack, the bartender, in the local bar. Next day, Mel arrives at the Doc Mullen's office where he is not pleased that she was hired without his approval. Mrs. McCree goes to Doc Mullen's and speaks with him regarding Mel. He agrees to give Mel 30 days probation. Mel treats a young pregnant lady at the practice suffering with Braxton Hicks. Later, Jack finds a baby in a crib on Doctor's front porch. He calls over Mel to come see what he has found. Mel gives the baby girl a checkup at Doc's office. Doc Mullins arrives there and takes charge. Connie, the general store owner, brings formula and bottles over, then starts ringing around to try and discover the mother. Doc Mullins is not keen on having Mel around. A frustrated Mel gives her notice to Hope. Meanwhile, Hope pleads with Doc to give Mel a chance and let her do her job. Mel tells Doc Mullins that she called the CPS to hand over the baby in the morning. An angry Doc tells Mel she is fired. Jack arrives at Charmaine's home and they end up in bed together. Mel discovers Lily in the back room and is shocked to see her breastfeeding the baby. Lily admits that she is the mother. Her husband died 6 months prior and Mel thinks she is suffering postmortem depression. Mel lost her own baby and confides in Lily that she considered suicide. The woman with Jack comes to the bar and introduces herself to Mel as Jack's girlfriend, Charmaine. Doc drops off Hope at her house. She collapses while walking up the stairs, saying she can't breathe. Doc assures her that he will take care of her. Jack comes over with a cliche for Hope. Mel meets him coldly. Jack is offhand about his relationship with Charmaine, implying that she thinks it's more serious than he does. Charmaine shows up to surprise Jack. Jack and Mel are taken to the pod camps so that Mel can treat the boss for a bullet wound and later helps one of the residents, a young woman, give birth. Doc tracks them down and retrieves them after Hope is alerted to their disappearance by a phone call from Mel's sister. Hope is revealed to be treating Charmaine with distaste because her mother was a close friend that had an affair with Doc while they were still together, but later gives her the benefit of the doubt. Mel later finds Jack in the middle of the night and finding out about his time in the Marines. Mel's sister, Joy, visits Virgin River as the town is preparing for the Moonlight Mingle, a dance where everyone switches partners between songs. Doc sets up a meeting with the lawyer so he and Hope can go through with their divorce, but is frustrated by her absence at the appointment. However, he soon realizes how much his affair actually hurt her. Paige sees a man at the mingle and becomes erratic when she momentarily can't find her son Christopher. Jack is truthful to Charmaine about where he stands in their relationship and later punches Brady after he gets drunk with Joey and makes insinuations about him and Mel. Preacher helps Paige when her car dies. While he is giving up a jump, he finds an old ID under the seat, but it's not her name. And there are suitcases in the car as if at any moment she and Christopher are ready to run. Preacher is starting to think she is in serious trouble. At the hospital, Mel has a flashback to the night her husband died. After she calms down a bit, they take a detour to a bar for food and games. Jack goes to talk Charmaine. He loves being with Charmaine, but he is not in love with her. Charmaine breaks up with Jack, saying that she can't wait around for him to fall in love with her. Mel admits to Joey that she likes Jack, but she is not ready to get close to anyone. Hope confronts Charmaine about her letter to Jack. She tells Hope to mind her own business and just give the letter to Jack as she asked. So she hands the letter off to Jack and makes him promise to read it. But Brady is late again, and Jack is preoccupied with planning his date with Mel, so he puts it in his deck to deal with later. Jack meets Mel at her cabin. They have a fancy dinner in Eureka. After the date, Jack and Mel share a kiss and say goodnight. Jack's happiness is quickly compromised when he goes back to the bar and reads Charmaine's letter. Big shocker, she is pregnant. Jack was supposed to have breakfast with Mel, but he has to make an emergency supply run for the bar and doesn't have time for breakfast or to tell her about the baby. He just stops by to tell her he wants to talk to her later. When Mel gets to the clinic, Hope assumes that Jack has told her about Charmaine and accidentally drops the news. Now Mel feels like Jack has kept things from her because Hope didn't give him chance to tell her himself. Hope tracks down Jack and admits that she accidentally told Mel about the baby. He freaks out. Mel turns up shortly after and they have a talk in his office. Hope is devastated by the consequences of her meddling. She is sorry that she refused to accept Doc's apology for 20 years, and Doc will always regret having broken their wedding vows. He never stopped loving her, and Hope loves him too. They kiss and make up. Preacher and Paige meet at the bar and she tells him her story. Her ex-husband was abusive towards her, but he went too far when he started to abuse Christopher. When she left him, he told the judge that Paige was unstable and was awarded full custody. He is a police officer with connections, so she kidnapped Christopher and ran away. Now they are in hiding. Coincidentally, Paige's ex-husband comes into the bar later that day. He says his name is Paul. That doesn't mean anything to Preacher, but when he goes to check on Paige and Christopher, later they are gone and there are no signs of a struggle. Mel runs into Charmaine later when she is running errands. She congratulates Charmaine on the baby, saying that she and Jack are going to be wonderful parents. When Jack comes to see Mel later to try to talk things out, he tells her that he never knew he could feel the way he feels about her. Jack knows he's asking a lot from her, but he wants to be part of her future. Mel says she needs time to think about it, but once Jack is gone, she starts packing and calls Joey to say she's coming home. Thank you for watching. Let me remind you that there is a Netflix giveaway contest going on in this video, and check the description for more details.